Is it the people around you? The society that constantly watches and judges? Or is it something deeper within you? In a world where our every action can be scrutinized, commented on, and shared, it often feels as though our self-worth is in the hands of everyone but ourselves. But let me share something revolutionary with you, something that might shift your entire perspective. Your true value does not come from external approval. It's not measured by the applause or the critiques of the crowd. Rather, it's rooted deep within you, in the core of your character and your virtues. Today, we're diving into how embracing the ancient wisdom of Stoicism can completely transform the way you see yourself. We're not just scratching the surface here, we're going deep. We're challenging you to look inside yourself, rather than around you, for validation. In a world where it's so easy to lose yourself in the whirlwind of others' opinions, Stoicism offers a radically different way of living. It invites you to ask, what if the opinions of others don't matter? What if your value is based on something more enduring, something unshakable? This may seem radical, especially if you've spent much of your life tethered to the approval of others. But that's exactly what Stoicism teaches us to question, to confront the false belief that our worth is shaped by external forces. The great Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, offer timeless wisdom on living authentically, cultivating virtues like wisdom, courage, and self-discipline, and focusing on what truly matters. They knew that true peace comes from within. In today's episode, we'll guide you through the teachings of Stoicism and how they can help you navigate the noise of societal expectations. We'll explore how shifting your focus from external validation to internal virtues can unlock a deeper sense of self-worth. So, if you're ready to challenge the conventional, if you're ready to go beyond surface-level answers and dive into profound teachings that have stood the test of time, if you're ready to create a life that's truly your own, then you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with others who are also on their own journeys of growth and philosophical exploration. Stick with us until the end, and uncover why these ancient truths are more relevant than ever. And why sometimes the most profound insights about ourselves and our lives require us to question everything we thought we knew. Let's get started. In a world where the noise of external opinions often drowns out our inner voices, it's easy to be swayed by what others think. Social media, career milestones, and even social circles create an invisible scorecard that suggests our value is measured by applause, praise, and the fleeting nature of public approval. But what if I told you that true worth, your most authentic self, resides in a place beyond the reach of external judgment? This is where the ancient wisdom of Stoicism illuminates a path, presenting a truth so profound yet simple. Your value stems from your virtues and inner character, not the shifting tides of external validation. Imagine a fortress standing tall in the midst of chaos, a citadel unyielding to storms, gossip, or criticism. This fortress represents the Stoic concept of inner character, an unwavering essence rooted in virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. To the Stoic, this inner stronghold is where true value is found, untouched by the external forces that many allow to shape their self-worth. Consider how easily we fall into the habit of seeking validation from outside sources. Each compliment, like, or nod of approval becomes a brick in the fragile wall we build to define ourselves. Yet, as Stoicism teaches, this wall is weak because it's constructed from elements we don't control. Public opinion is fickle, trends fade, and admiration shifts like sand in the wind. If our worth is tied to these things, then our sense of self will always be precarious, susceptible to crumbling with the slightest change in the external world. Stoicism offers an antidote to this insecurity. Instead of looking outward for a sense of worth, it urges us to look inward, anchoring our value in virtues that are wholly within our control. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's most celebrated figures, wrote in Meditations, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." This insight challenges us to reflect on why we place so much importance on what others think, rather than trusting in our inner moral compass. Let's take wisdom, one of the 4 Stoic virtues. True wisdom isn't about accumulating accolades or being recognized for your intellect. It's about using knowledge to live rightly, to make choices that align with reason and integrity. If you act out of wisdom, knowing your decision is rooted in thoughtful judgment, then the outcome or others' opinions of that decision matter far less. You remain steadfast, not because everyone agrees with you, but because you know you acted according to principles that define who you are. Now consider courage, not the kind displayed in grand, dramatic acts, but the quiet, daily bravery of staying true to yourself. It takes courage to stand by your beliefs in the face of criticism, to choose actions that align with your character even when they're not popular. This courage solidifies the understanding that your value isn't up for debate, and it doesn't rise and fall with the approval or disapproval of others. Justice and temperance are equally vital. When your actions stem from a commitment to fairness and self-restraint, they reflect a character grounded in virtue. The Stoics believe that when we cultivate these traits, we create an internal source of pride that external judgments can't touch. This isn't the superficial pride of vanity, but a deep, resilient confidence built on the knowledge that you live consistently with your highest ideals. So, what happens when you embrace this Stoic principle that your value is rooted in your virtues? You become unshakable. The criticisms and praises of the world lose their power to unsettle you. You live authentically, guided not by the whims of others, but by an inner standard of excellence. You engage with life not to seek validation but to uphold a sense of personal integrity that no one can grant or take away. This shift frees you from the exhausting cycle of seeking approval and fearing judgment. It empowers you to act, speak, and live in ways that reflect your true character. In the end, the essence of Stoic wisdom lies in the realization that your value is not a reflection you find in the eyes of others. It's a flame kindled from within, fueled by the virtues you cultivate and the person you choose to be. This is where true freedom lies, anchored in a self-reliance that acknowledges the only validation worth seeking is your own. Focusing on internal validation over external approval is like shifting from a life lived in shadows to one glowing with genuine light. When you seek approval from the world around you, your happiness becomes fragile, held hostage by the unpredictable whims of others. But when your validation comes from within, from living in alignment with your true self, you become unshakable and free. Imagine waking up each day not with the question, "Will they like me?" but with a deeper, more powerful query, "Am I being true to myself?" The difference between the two is the difference between walking on a tightrope, nervously balancing for applause, and standing firmly on the ground, anchored in your own values and beliefs. This shift toward internal validation enables you to act not out of fear of rejection or desire for recognition but out of sincerity, aligning your actions with your core principles. You become the author of your story, choosing your words, values, and deeds based on your inner compass, not a crowd's fleeting cheers. This authenticity brings resilience. The moment you stop giving others the power to decide your worth, you become immune to the chaos of praise or criticism. Praise becomes pleasant but non-essential, like a gentle breeze you notice but don't rely on. Criticism loses its teeth, transforming into a chance to learn and grow rather than a dagger to your self-esteem. Anchored in self-trust and guided by your inner values, you weather storms and bask in the sun with the same calm fortitude. Living for internal validation invites you to embrace imperfection and growth. You understand that mistakes do not define you, nor do they diminish your value. They are stepping stones, part of the authentic journey of being human. This perspective fuels a life of resilience because when you are no longer trying to meet shifting standards imposed by others, you can respond to challenges with greater confidence. Your energy goes into building yourself up rather than managing others' perceptions of you. This path is not about shutting out others' opinions entirely. Rather, it's about deciding what opinions matter most and why. You don't ignore feedback, but you filter it through your understanding of who you are and what you stand for. This practice is powerful because it lets you grow and adapt without losing your essence. Choosing to focus on internal validation doesn't just empower you, it liberates you. It allows you to live with the kind of courage and authenticity that only comes from knowing that your worth is not a performance, but a steadfast truth, carried quietly within you. Daily reflection and the premeditation of potential hardships are practices that, when woven into your routine, act as silent architects of strength and self-reliance. The beauty of these habits lies not in their complexity, but in their profound simplicity. They are rituals of the mind that fortify you against life's inevitable storms, allowing you to walk through the world with a steady, unyielding resilience. Imagine starting or ending each day with a moment to pause and gaze inward, asking yourself, what did I face today? What challenged me, lifted me, or forced me to bend? This act of reflection does more than mark the day's events, it transforms them. By recalling your actions and reactions, you begin to trace the patterns of your thinking, to understand what makes you waver and what keeps you strong. This knowledge is like sharpening a blade, not to battle the world, but to carve out your space within it with confidence and purpose. It turns experience into wisdom, allowing you to step forward each day with more clarity than the last. Now add to this practice the art of premeditatio malorum, or premeditation of evils. It's an ancient Stoic exercise that invites you to visualize potential challenges before they come to pass. On the surface, it may seem dark or pessimistic to dwell on difficulties that may never happen, but in truth, it's a rehearsal for courage. By anticipating what might go wrong, whether it's an argument with a friend, a missed opportunity, or a sudden change in plans, you ready yourself. You prepare your mind not to dwell in worry, but to greet the unexpected with composure. This practice is transformative because it shifts your perspective from dreading the unknown to expecting it. And when the inevitable hardship arrives, it's not a rude interruption, but a familiar face. Your mind, having rehearsed the scene, recognizes the feeling and knows how to respond. Instead of a knee-jerk reaction driven by panic, you act with deliberation, channeling calm amidst chaos. Premeditating challenges is not about living in fear of what might come, but about understanding that hardships will come, and deciding in advance that they won't break you. Together, daily reflection and premeditation of hardships create a loop of preparation and understanding. Reflection anchors you, revealing the lessons hidden in each day and building your self-awareness. Premeditation trains you for resilience, giving you a mental map for navigating turmoil before you're lost in it. These practices make you less dependent on the approval, solutions, or reassurance of others because you've built your own stronghold of inner resources. You become a person who stands not because circumstances have favored you but because you've chosen to stand come what may. There's a quiet power in knowing that each day, you're not only a passive recipient of life's trials but an active participant in your own fortification. You begin to trust yourself deeply, not because life is predictable, but because you know you've prepared for its unpredictability. This is how daily reflection and premeditation weave resilience into your character. They train you to confront the future with the strength that comes from understanding the past and anticipating the possible, making self-reliance not just an ideal but an instinct. Resilience, in the eyes of Stoicism, is not simply the ability to withstand life's pressures. It is an art form, a silent masterpiece crafted through deliberate practice and philosophical insight. The Stoics believed that true resilience wasn't just about enduring hardship but thriving despite it, finding wisdom in adversity, and inner peace amid chaos. Picture resilience not as a wall built to keep out the storm but as the tree that bends with the wind, never breaking because it adapts. This distinction lies at the core of Stoic philosophy. Resilience is not a rigid resistance to life's challenges but a flexible strength that comes from understanding what is within your control and what is not. The Stoics taught that while we cannot change the world's chaotic nature, we can change how we respond to it, turning moments of potential despair into opportunities for growth and mastery. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor of Rome, embodied this practice through his meditations, written not as grand declarations for the world but as private notes to himself. In the midst of war, loss, and betrayal, he reminded himself that life's trials were not curses but tests of character. He would write, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This was his mantra of resilience. When an obstacle arises, it is not a sign to stop but an invitation to reframe the path and proceed with newfound purpose. Each challenge is an opportunity to practice courage, patience, and wisdom. Resilience, according to the Stoics, is also a deep acknowledgement of impermanence. They encouraged embracing the fleeting nature of everything around us, possessions, relationships, even life itself, so that we are not shattered when they change or fade. This practice, known as memento mori, reminds us that life's impermanence isn't meant to paralyze us with fear but to inspire us to value each moment fully. By accepting that everything is temporary, we learn to face loss and uncertainty with a steadier heart. We become resilient not in spite of this knowledge, but because of it. Another cornerstone of Stoic resilience is amor fati, the love of one's fate. It's an audacious concept, to love not just the joys of life but its sorrows as well. It means embracing the entirety of your experience, trusting that even in difficulty, there is value. Seneca, another great Stoic thinker, spoke of hardships as the forge that tempers one's spirit. In his eyes, suffering was not a punishment but a craftsman's tool that shapes the soul into something stronger and more refined. What makes Stoic resilience intriguing is its unorthodox approach. While modern self-help might tell you to avoid negativity or push away discomfort, Stoicism invites you to look it square in the eye. It asks, what if this obstacle is exactly what you need? It suggests that the path to growth lies not in avoiding trials but in using them to awaken the virtues within you: patience, humility, courage, and wisdom. By practicing this, you cultivate a resilience that isn't just a mask to weather life's storms, but a profound inner compass. It steers you through turmoil with the assurance that you can endure and emerge transformed, not by sheer willpower alone but by the deeper understanding that you are more than your circumstances. This resilience isn't loud or showy, it is a quiet, unshakable trust in your ability to navigate whatever life brings, a trust not built overnight but over a lifetime of thoughtful reflection, self-discipline, and the willingness to see every moment, good or bad, as part of the grand, unrepeatable story of your life. Focusing on your path is a powerful and ancient concept, one that resonates deeply within the framework of Stoic philosophy. It asks us to step away from the noise of comparison, distraction, and external validation and instead direct our gaze inward, to our own journey, our unique challenges, and the virtues we strive to embody. The Stoics believe that true contentment lies not in pursuing what others chase but in walking your path with unwavering commitment and inner clarity. Imagine standing at a crossroads, each path veiled in mist. One path is the trail marked by the desires and opinions of others, success measured by status, wealth, or approval. The other path is yours, an uncharted, winding road filled with uncertainties and quiet victories, defined only by your personal sense of purpose. The Stoics taught that choosing the latter, your own path, is the key to living an authentic and resilient life. The pull to follow the crowd is strong. Human nature leans toward the comfort of social affirmation and the safety of conformity. However, in chasing someone else's idea of fulfillment, you may find yourself running endlessly without a sense of meaning. The Stoics warned against this trap. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who wielded immense power yet pursued wisdom with humility, wrote to himself in his meditations, "It never ceases to amaze me, we all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." He knew that true strength comes not from seeking to be seen but from seeking to see yourself clearly, understanding your aspirations, motivations, and the virtues you wish to nurture. Focusing on your path is not an act of isolation but an act of deep, personal commitment. It requires constant vigilance and introspection. Every day, you must ask yourself, am I moving forward because it aligns with my values? Or am I driven by what I think others expect of me? The Stoics advise that we should be like the archer who focuses not on the praise of the spectators but on the steadiness of their arm, the rhythm of their breath, and the alignment of their shot. This discipline of focusing inward helps foster a sense of purpose that is unshaken by failure or success, as defined by others. To truly walk your path means accepting that others might not understand your journey, and that's okay. You might be faced with doubt, criticism, or envy, but the Stoics remind us that these are distractions, fleeting disturbances that cannot alter the essence of who you are unless you let them. As Epictetus put it, keep your attention focused entirely on what is truly your own concern, and be clear that what belongs to others is their business and none of yours. This practice isn't selfishness but wisdom. It is the recognition that you cannot control the opinions, actions, or judgments of others, only how you respond and what you choose to cultivate within yourself. Following your path also requires embracing solitude at times. learning to be comfortable in your own company and to think independently. In this solitude, you discover the core of resilience, knowing that even when the world is indifferent, even when challenges arise that seem insurmountable, you possess the inner strength to keep moving forward. This sense of self-reliance and autonomy breeds not arrogance but humility. For when you walk your path, you learn that it isn't a race. There is no final applause that validates your worth. Instead, there is a steady sense of fulfillment that comes from knowing you are living truthfully, in line with what you hold sacred. This focus on your path teaches you to appreciate the journey itself. Each obstacle becomes a lesson, each small success a reminder that progress is not always visible from the outside. And when setbacks come, as they inevitably will, you can greet them not with panic but with curiosity and resolve. Because you are not measured by the turbulence around you, but by the quiet, deliberate steps you take in its wake. To focus on your path is to walk the road less traveled, the road of inner freedom. It means choosing the substance of your character over the shimmer of external praise, building a life that is authentically yours. It's not a path of ease, but one of profound satisfaction. For in the end, the only approval that matters is your own, when you can look back and say, I lived true to myself. I honored my journey. Ultimately, embracing Stoic principles helps navigate life's challenges with an inner sense of purpose and authenticity, leading to a life centered on internal virtues and true fulfillment. It's not just about enduring the tough times. It's about transforming those challenges into profound opportunities for personal growth and wisdom. As you continue on your path, remember this. Every moment holds the potential for growth. Embrace each experience with courage and integrity, no matter how difficult it may seem. When you face setbacks, treat them not as obstacles, but as stepping stones toward wisdom and self-mastery. Let Stoicism be your guide, not just in moments of peace, but in every struggle, every triumph, and every ordinary day in between. With Stoic principles, you can cultivate resilience, tap into your inner strength, and live a life of true fulfillment. Remember, your value is not dictated by others. It comes from within, and the journey of living virtuously is one that only you can walk. As you go forward, focus on your own path. Live with purpose. Live with virtue. And let that be the measure of your life. Don't forget to check out one of the suggested videos on your screen now, where we'll dive deeper into practical Stoic practices and timeless principles that can help guide your journey. Thank you for your time and your dedication to bettering yourself through the wisdom of Stoicism. Until next time, keep focusing on your own path and live virtuously.